Let's start today's meeting. Good morning to all of you, Nana. Yes. So today in ray optics chapter, we are going to discuss about refraction through a small angle prism. What is that point? Refraction through a small angle prism. Okay. Yes. See, so in previous class, we discussed about deviation means deviation through uh, prism. Refractive index of prism is n is equal to or mu is equal to sin of a plus delta m by 2 divided by sin a by 2 derivation. Important for 5 marks. And this point means deviation through a small angle prism or refraction through a small angle prism. Both are same. Okay. Deviation only, I'll write. Deviation through a small angle prism. Okay. And this is important for 2 marks. Direct formula sometimes they may ask you, you need to remember. Okay. Yes. Let us consider there is one prism. Small angled prism. Okay, and this is the angle of the prism A, let us suppose. Okay, and this angle A is small, very small. Okay, yes. Now let us draw one normal to this prism here, like this. One normal, let us draw. Okay, this became bigger, thicker. Let us draw one normal to this. Yes, this is the normal. Okay, now let us incident one ray on this refracting surface like this with some angle of incident I. Okay, after refraction, ray will bend towards the normal because its reflective index is mu something, and it will bend instead of going straight, it will bend towards the normal. Okay, like this, it will bend towards the normal. And then what happened? Again, here at the second reflecting surface, draw one more normal. Here n dash. Now, after refraction, ray will instead of going straight, it will bend away from the normal. Okay, so ray will go like this. Okay, na? Yes. Now this angle, let us call this is angle of refraction R1. Okay, and this angle let us call angle of incident R2, and this let us call angle of emergence E. Okay, this refractive index is mu is equal to 1. Here also mu is equal to 1, let us suppose. Okay, now we are going to derive angle of minimum deviation for a small angle prism. Okay, yes. Now see students, now apply Snell's law for uh, first refracting surface. First refracting surface. What is Snell's law? N1 sin I is equal to N2 sin R. Correct? For first refracting surface, N1 value is 1. N2 value is mu, refractive index of the prism. And I value is I only, R value is R1. Substitute these all values. What you will get? You will get 1 into sin I is equal to mu into sin R1. Then we can say, you can say sin I is equal to mu into sin R1. Clear? Now, see, for small angles, for small angle prism, no? So for small angles, we can say sin I is approximately equal to I, and Sine R1 is approximately equal to R1. That implies I is equal to mu into R1. Can we write? Yes, we can write. Equation number 1, let us call this. You are understanding clearly. Okay. Now, apply same Snell's law for second refracting surface. Apply again. You apply Snell's law for second refracting surface. What you will get, Nana? Formula is n1 sin I is equal to n2 sin R. Correct? Yes, sir. Correct. But what is n1 for second refracting surface? For this second refracting surface, n1 is the refractive index of the medium from which ray is traveling. From where ray is traveling? From mu medium. So n1 is mu. Okay. And what is n2? n2 is the refractive index of the medium into which ray is traveling. Into which medium it is traveling? Into mu is equal to 1. So n2 is 1. And what is I value? Angle of incident here, how much? For second refracting surface, R2. And what is R value here? Angle of refraction here, what? That is E. Substitute all things in that equation. You will get n1 is mu. Mu into sine I. Sine I value what, Nana? Sine R2 is equal to n2 value 1 into sine R. R value what? E. Yes. Okay. Means you will get mu into sine R2 is equal to sine E. Now again for small angles, what happened? Sine R2 will become R2 and sine E will become E. Okay. Substitute these two values there. What you will get? See, you will get mu into R2 is equal to E. This is equation number 2, let us call. Okay. Yes. Now we know from previous derivation for a deviation angle, we know A plus delta is equal to I plus E minus R1 plus R2. Do you remember this one? This equation? Yes. This we have derived. Sorry. Simply delta is equal to deviation angle is equal to I plus E minus R1 minus R2. You know this point. Okay. Yeah. Now this deviation only we want. Now deviation is equal to what is I nana from equation 1? Mu into R1 plus what is E nana from equation 2? Mu into R2 minus of R1 plus R2. Correct? Yes. So let us take mu common from this. You will get R1 plus R2 minus R1 plus R2. Clear? And one more point, we know that R1 plus R2 value is equal to angle of the prism. Okay. So we can say delta is equal to mu into A minus A. Okay. Yes. So deviation delta is equal to mu minus 1 into A. Yes. Very, 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 very important relation. You may get sometimes object questions also on this. Okay. Or simply one more question. Write an expression for deviation through a small angle prism. This is deviation through a small angled prism important point. How many of you understood this point? Students, once you check this, observe this one, you can zoom it, you can see. Point is important. Sometimes you may get one more questions also. Directly write an expression for deviation through a small angle prism. You write directly this formula. This formula you write directly. Okay. Any doubt in this? I'm waiting for your response. No one is responding. Whether you are seeing or not. Okay. Next point in this chapter, there is nothing but a dispersion. What is that, Nana? Dispersion. What is dispersion? Dispersion means what? Dispersion is nothing but when white light is passes through a prism. Suppose, yes, this is a prism, let us call. Okay. Now, prism of angle A. Now, through this prism, let us suppose a white light is passed. Let us suppose like this, one white light is passed. Let us suppose. Imagine this is a white light. Okay. Means it is consisting of several colors. Which colors? PGR colors it will be there. Now, after passing through this prism, this white light will split into several colors. Okay, that phenomena we call it as dispersion. Okay, this white light, this will split into several colors. So, upside red color will be there. Like this, and downside violet color will be there. Like this it will split depending upon like this into 7 colors. It will split. That phenomena we call it as dispersion. Means dispersion is nothing but it is the phenomena of splitting of white light into its constituent colors. Okay, when it is passed through a prism. Clear enough? The reason for this splitting is because color of the light depends upon the wavelength, and refractive index of light means the wavelength depends upon the refractive index of the medium. Okay, deviation produced in a medium, deviation produced in a medium is equal to mu into deviation produced in mu minus 1 into a, no? Yeah, mu minus 1 into a. Okay, so like this, deviation depends upon the refractive index, and we know refractive index is inversely proportional to wavelength. More is the wavelength, less will be the refractive index, so less will be the deviation. Since red color is having greater wavelength than violet color, that implies refractive index for red is less than refractive index for violet. That implies deviation produced in red color is less than deviation produced in violet color. So violet color will deviate more, whereas other colors, depending upon their wavelength, they will deviate less. So due to this reason, white light, it will split into several colors. Okay, this is the reason. So just write what is dispersion if they'll ask for 1 mark question or 2 mark question means when white light pass through a prism, it will split into its constituent colors. This phenomena is called as dispersion. Okay, what is the reason why white light split into its constituent colors? The reason for that is color of a light depends upon the wavelength, and wavelength is inversely proportional to refractive index. We know deviation produced in a light when it is passes through a prism is delta is equal to mu minus 1 into a. Means deviation through a prism depends upon refractive index of the material and refractive index of a color of a light. So more is the refractive index, more will be the deviation. Violet color will have more refractive index, whereas red color will have less refractive index. So due to this, depending upon the wavelength of different colors, refractive index is different. So deviation produced in them also will be different. Due to this reason, lights will deviate in different angles. So colors will split. Okay, students, clear this point? You need to write that point if they'll ask. Okay, see here, I'll show you. Yeah, dispersion of light. It is a phenomenon of splitting of a beam of white light into its constituent colors on passing through a prism. Okay, this phenomena is called as dispersion. And what is the reason for the dispersion? So each color has its own wavelength. According to Cassius formula, refractive index of a material depends upon the wavelength, like this. It is inversely proportional. And mu of a material of a prism is different for different colors and wavelength. So angle of deviation is delta is equal to mu minus 1 into a. Mu is different, delta also different. As mu of a prism is different for different colors, therefore different colors deviate through different angles on passing through the prism. This is the reason for, this is the cause of dispersion. Finish. If they ask for 3 marks, you can write, or directly explanation you can write. Clear enough? Yes. After that, these angular dispersion, these all things not required for you. No need. Okay, dispersive power, these all things not required enough. This is also not required. Yes, scattering, it is deleted. Nana, scattering deleted. Okay, what is why sun looks reddish at the time of sunrise and sunset? Not required. This is all due to scattering only. Dangerous signals are red in color. Why? Not required. Rainbow formation, how it will form? Not required because it is deleted. Okay, clear, students? And one topic is there about I also not required. Don't read. Okay, and one point you read. 1 mark questions. What is myopia? What is hypermetropia? How myopia can be corrected? How hypermetropia can be corrected? Okay, these are things already you have studied in your 10th standard only. One time you will revise, you will remember. Okay, myopia means nearsightedness. Nearsighted means a person who is suffering from myopia can see nearby objects clearly, but he cannot see far objects. This defect can be cured by using convex lens. Hypermetropia. Hypermetropia is a defect called as farsightedness. A person who is suffering from hypermetropia can see far away objects clearly, but he cannot see near objects. And this defect can be corrected by using concave lens. That's it. Okay. Clear? Important points about these all things not required. Myopia, hypermetropia, short-sightedness. Okay. Correction. Yeah, sorry. Myopia can be corrected by concave lens. Myopia, this myopia we can correct it by using concave lens, Nana. By using concave lens. And what should be the focal length of that concave lens? Is nothing but it's a near point. Focal length of that concave lens is nothing but it's a near point. That means here x value. Let x be the distance of far point. Then up to what maximum distance you can see, that is called as focal length of a lens required for correcting myopia. Okay, remember value is important. Okay, next one more point is how to correct hypermetropia. Hypermetropia is called as long-sightedness or far-sightedness. This can be corrected by using convex lens. What should be the focal length of convex lens? It is f into d by x minus d. See, I'm not giving here. Okay, not required. After that, yes, simple microscope is important. Simple microscope, what it will do? See, simple microscope, they will ask you to draw an image form in a simple microscope, or they'll give you a convex lens like this, and they'll show you this is the focus, and here object is there. Complete the ray diagram, they may ask you. Or draw a diagram for the formation of image in a simple microscope. So what will happen now? First thing, when object is between the optic center and focus, ray parallel to the principal axis. After refraction, what will happen? It will passes through the focus. One ray. One more ray, a ray which is passing through the optic center. After refraction, it will pass undeviated. If we extend these two, what is happening? These two are diverging. These two rays are diverging, no? Yes, means they cannot meet each other this side. So for that reason, what we will do is we will extend these two rays in backward direction like this. So these two rays will meet at one particular point. At that point, image will form. This is which type of image? It is a virtual image. It is a virtual image. A virtual image will form, and magnified image will form. It is a magnified image. Okay, na? So this diagram, they may ask, sometimes they may ask you to draw. Clear? You need to draw, and after that, magnification formula for simple microscope is important, Nana. Magnification formula I have explained you clearly. So when image is formed at the least distance of distinct vision, magnification is 1 plus d by f. Formula for magnification is 1 plus d by f. D is least distance of distinct vision. Okay, clear? And when image forms at infinity, magnification formula will be d by f. Just remember that. After that, compound microscope, I am not expecting this question this year. Only the thing what you need to remember is a compound microscope magnification formula. Remember, yes, this is the formula for magnification of a compound microscope. Minus v naught by u naught into 1 plus d by f. V naught is objective distance, sorry, image distance for objective. U naught is the object distance for objective. Fe is the focal length of eyepiece. Okay, these formulas are very important. Nana. This one and this one. Length of compound microscope formula how much? V naught in plus UV. These all things already I have explained in detail when I am discussing this chapter. Okay. If you are still having doubts on this, you message me. I will explain in next class. Okay. Only just read these formulas enough for you. Okay, students. Yes, this is about compound microscope formula. Remember that formula. And after that, remaining topics, Cassegrain microscope, these are things not required, Nana. Don't read them. Don't waste your time. Think what you need to do is one problem you need to solve here. Okay. So what is that problem? Let us see. Problem will be somewhere else. I'll show you the problem also. This type of problems, Nana. Mhm. Now, on this topic, they may ask you one problem on this deviation. Okay, na? I'm searching for that problem. Somewhere else it is here only. Okay. So with this, this chapter is finished. Next tomorrow means in next class, I'll start dual nature of matter and radiation because so many students they have asked that chapter to discuss. After that, I'll go to atoms and nucleus. Okay, clear, students? So is this chapter clear for you? Still any points do you want? So these problems in this material only it is there with solution. Just read them. Okay. This problem it is. I'm searching for that problem. Problem comes means we can solve. Yeah. 8 minutes time is there. Let us solve the problem. I will give you problem also for you. Already sometimes we have solved means in class only we have solved Nana few problems, but again once again I will give you the problem. Okay, try to solve that problem. Yes, I'll write that problem on that board. Okay, yeah. So I am writing problem Nana. A ray of light. A ray of light is incident on a face AB. Is incident on a face AB of a glass prism ABC having vertex angle A. Vertex angle A is equal to 40 degrees. The face AB is silvered. Okay, and ray of light is instant, and ray of light is incident on face AB. Yeah, here phase AC is silver, not AB. AC phase is silver. Phase AC is silver and ray of light is incident on phase AB. Okay, such that it retrace its path. Okay, if refractive index of the glass is 1.54, calculate angle of incident. This type of questions they may ask. So just by reading this question, what you need to do is draw the diagram, corresponding diagram you draw. Okay, yes. So diagram you draw, Nana. See, this is a prism ABC, let us suppose. This is A, B, C. Okay. So angle of the prism is given. A is equal to 40 degrees given. Okay. The face AC is silvered. Okay. This face you silver it. Okay. The face AC is silvered. Okay. Ray of light is instant on a face AB. Okay. Let us suppose this is the normal, and on this with some angle of incident, some angle of incident, a ray with some angle, a ray is incident on face AB. Okay, such that it retraces its path. So what after reflection, what happened? It will go like this. After incident here, again it is reflecting back because it is retracing its path like this. Then what is this angle? Question mark. What is the angle of incident? Here they have given refractive index of this one is 1.54. Okay. Yes, this is your question. Okay. First thing what you need to do is see, as this ray is retracing its path like this. When a ray can retrace on a mirror when it is instant along the normal, means here angle is 0. This angle is 0. Okay. If this angle is 0 and this is 40, then what will be this angle, Anna? 180 degrees, no, means 140. Means this will be 40 degrees. This is, sorry, this is 40 degrees. Clear, students? Hope you are understanding clearly. Okay. Yeah. So this angle we got 40. This is what R. Now apply Snell's law. N1 sin I is equal to N2 sin R. N1 value what? 1. Okay. 1 into sin I we need to find into N2 1.54 into sin R. R value how much we got? 40 degrees. Substitute. Okay. Yes. So in question they will give you sin 40 value how much? Sin 40 value, if they give in final exam, definitely they will mention the value. So sin 40 value is 0.6428. 0.6428. So sin I value will get, sin I is equal to 1.54 into 0.6428. So if you multiply these two, you will get 0.9899. Now you find I. I is what, Anna? Sin inverse of 0.9899. So this value will be equal to 81 degrees 51 seconds. Means 82 degrees around you will get. Okay. So in your exam, definitely they'll give you user-friendly numbers. 30 degrees, 40 degrees, like that they'll give. Okay. 60 degrees or 37 degrees, 53 degrees, you know that values. That also they may give you. Okay. Clear, students? Yes. So in next class, I'm going to discuss, I'm going to take new chapter. There is a dual nature of matter and radiation. Okay. I'll discuss in detail again that chapter, and we will solve some problems also on that chapter. Okay. This is for today's class. Okay. Bye.